time to make our third block. This time we're going to make 4 snail trails. That's the name of this block. I used the same blue that I used for the other block's outline, and then I chose a different color for the middle. I'm using scrap material left over from other quilts that I've done, so I've kind of limited to what I have, but I think this will go nicely with the other blocks that I've done. So we're going to do 4 of these. This is how you will assemble your block. So it will look like this. You want to make sure that your same colors are touching in order to form that appearance of this whirl that's going in for both the blue and the green color. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to sew these squares together. So this is pretty simple. We're going to sew these squares together like this, and these squares together like this. Now that we have our 2 sets of squares sewn together, we are going to put these 2 together. You want the same colors diagonal of each other. So we'll just fold this one over. I'm going to match up my points here so that they can be together when I sew them, and I'll do a needle here and a needle here, and then sew that together. Once we have these squares sewn together, we can start adding to our block. We want to first add the smallest triangle that we have, and I love this block because I don't have to draw where the middle is. So I'm going to fold it over, and I'm going to line up my point using this seam here that I just sewed, so I know it's right smack in the middle. I'm going to do that for this side, and I'm also going to do it for this side. And we will just press that open, and I'm being very, very gentle because I don't want to accidentally stretch my pieces. I'm going to sew my blue triangle on, my blue triangles on now. I'm going to match them up to my seam, and I'm going to pin them just like I did before to make sure they match. I'm going to press that open again very gently. And sew my next blue triangle to my next edge here. I'm going to open this next seam. And now we're moving to our next size triangle. So again, these colors are touching each other so that they form a pattern going outwards to the right. We're going to use our next color and our next size up triangle. So I've matched it up here, and it doesn't quite meet the seam, but I can tell just by looking here to know whether or not it is in the middle or not. I'm going to go ahead and pin that as well and get sewing. Again, I'm going to iron really, really, really gently. And I'm ready to use my next color triangle. And we're going to line it up just like we did before. We can tell that it's in the middle. I'm going to pin it and go ahead and sew. And it's time to press my seam open again. very, very gently. Something I didn't mention for you that don't really do a lot of quilting, and maybe this is your first go around. Notice my points are touching almost exactly where they should be. I am not worrying about that. When I sew these, I'm sewing it from this side. However, normally I would. Normally I would sew it from this side just to make sure that I'm right above where that cross is. These block measurements are so well done, so accurate, that I haven't had to do that yet. But if you're worried about missing the point, definitely make sure that you sew it from this back side, and you can see your seam should go right above where these two seams cross. Okay, so let's do our next triangle. And we're gonna line that up. And pin. And sew. And then we're gonna start adding to our next layer. This time you're gonna use your largest triangle. We're going to center it. I love that I can use my line here. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and I think I'm okay with that in quilting. I'm gonna go ahead and pin and sew. Let's go ahead and press it open. And start on the blue. I'm gonna center my blue just like I did the other ones. Go ahead and pin it. And so, I'm gonna press open our last triangle. And look what we have. Our finished snail's trail. That doesn't take too long, you guys. We did a good job. We're gonna make 4 of these in total for our quilt to be put into our quilt. Hey guys, I hope that you are having fun making your mystery quilts. I am still working on mine. When I'm done, it will be posted on my website and on my Facebook page. I hope to see what you guys are working on. Please, in the description, go to my website so you can get the full pattern for this quilt, as well as my Facebook page, so that you can post your progress on your mystery quilts. I can't wait till we can talk again soon. I hope you guys are all well.